Hey guys, it's Missy Gordon the Metamystic here. Excuse the fact that I am sick right now. I love doing these full moon and new moon readings, so hey, it makes me feel better. So I'm excited to do it for you guys today. And speaking of, welcome. We have this full moon in Gemini today. This has been a very interesting feeling. So I'm curious to see what the cards are showing, especially because of the fact that this Mars retrograde is like literally cozying up like with this full moon in Gemini. It's with Mars in Gemini retrograde and then the full moon in Gemini. It's like, I don't know if it's just because my midheaven's in Gemini or what, but I've really been feeling all sorts of stuff, right? So let's see what the cards show for everybody. Ace of Cups wanting to pop out. I do think that this is like helping to, Mars retrograde in general is doing this. It's kind of like, and I think that this full moon in Gemini is shining the spotlight even further and more intensely. It's like just when we thought the lights couldn't get any brighter, we got that sweat on the forehead. It's like it's shining a light on what really matters here. What really matters? What's working? And this could be in our relationships. This could be even in like our hobbies. Like, okay, maybe you used to like crocheting, for a random example, and now you're kind of like, hey, maybe I want to try kickboxing. Like, and I know that it can feel a little weird it feels like we're being examined, I feel, even though we're not. It's this feeling of, I feel like we're being watched by the planets. And the planets are like, hey, be who you are. Be who you are. We're going to do a Celtic Cross today. Temperance at the bottom of the deck. See, it's shaping and forming us, this transit, I feel. Or if we take this energy, like if we take advantage of this spotlight that's on us right now, and obviously I'm just using this as a metaphor, but if we just take a second and we take this energy and we're honest, we can create something with Temperance at the bottom of the deck that is just unlike anything we've experienced before. And I think that that's the lesson that we're being offered with this full moon in Gemini conjunct with this Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini. It's like an opportunity of enlightenment, shining a light on all those little critters in the darkness. And we just kind of look around our space and we're like, what are we doing here? Let's take a real look at what we're doing here. So let's begin. Queen of Wands right at the center of our spread. See, the Queen of Wands like how I was talking about that spotlight, it's interesting that I said that, because the Queen of Wands, she's in the spotlight and she doesn't care what people think of her. I think that that's also part of what's going on. It's like when we're put on in these times of stress, like make a decision, like be who you really are. We get this chance to shine. And the Queen of Wands, when she's given the opportunity to go on stage, she gets up there and she gives it her all, and she doesn't care if people think she's weird, right? She doesn't care if people misunderstand her. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. She's the freaking Queen of Wands, right? She's gonna come up there with colorful clothes and an interesting dance number and a song that she wrote, and she's gonna give it her all, right? With a dramatic flair. That's Queen of Wands. I think that that's what we're being asked to do in our own way. I think we are all leveling up, or I should say it this way, with the Temperance card at the bottom of the deck. We're being given an opportunity to level up here from the universe. Will we do it? Is the question. Will we level up? This is not for special people. This is for everybody. This is astrology. We're all affected, right? Will we be the Queen of Wands? Right? What's crossing us is the Ace of Wands. I think we're scared of our own ability, our own inspiration. We could look at it from two angles. Maybe we're intimidated by our own, talents with the Queen of Wands. We all have talents. We all have gifts, right? This could be in anything. Maybe you're somebody who writes blog posts. Maybe you're somebody who, I'm seeing crocheting again. I mentioned that earlier. Maybe you're somebody who has an Etsy shop that creates little crocheted. I knew a girl who every winter she would really get a lot of sales on her Etsy shop because she would crochet these like really cool, like she would do hats, but she also did these little these little interesting characters, kind of like plush but crochet. Anyways, I don't know why that's coming to me. That's got to be for somebody, but it's like that's the Ace of Wands. It's like that's crossing us. It's like we're being asked to be the Queen of Wands, and then we're crossed with the inspiration to do it. It's like we're being offered this wand, and it's like, will you take this wand? Literally, look at the hands, if you can see that. These hands are like giving you the inspiration, and it's kind of like, will you take it? Will you? It's like we're going up on stage not even knowing what we're gonna do, maybe. And then suddenly, it's like when that spotlight hits, baby, it's showtime, right? It just comes to you. It's inspiration. It's Ace of Wands. All right, we're gonna restart the camera here. Let's go to our third card here. Let's see what's in our foundation. We have the Nine of Pentacles. This could be the fact that we're all just looking to be this Nine of Pentacles right now. We're looking for stability. And I think that that's why it's been hard for us to be the Queen of Wands, because we're in a weird time in the world. We're like, hey, we need to make sure we got money, that we're stable. I mean, post-COVID world, that was a culture shock. That was a collective trauma bond, right? And so all of us, even if it's subconscious, we're like, we want to be Nine of Pentacles. We want to make sure we're set. We want to make sure we've got money, we've got stability, that we have our own autonomy, right? That we are independent. And this could even go as far as like, you know, independent from like the government. And I think that that's why things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. have become so popular, because it's this separation, feeling like we can't trust them, right? And maybe we feel like we can't really trust anybody anymore. And so a lot of us are like, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. We got to make sure we're okay, everything's stable, we have the money we need, etc., right? That's in our foundation here with the Nine of Pentacles. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think that that's where the rub is with this Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands energy. I feel like we're in this Nine of Pentacles energy where we're kind of like, okay, you know, we need to get stable, we need to get secure, and those are all good things. But imagine that the universe comes in at that moment and is like, hey, instead of focusing on all that junk, why don't you go and put on a show? And you're like, what do you mean put on a show, Queen of Wands? What do you mean? I got to focus on my home. I got to hold down the fort. I got to make sure I got enough money. And again, those are all wonderful things. But I think that sometimes the universe is so funny like this. It's like right at that moment, it's like they come in to shake things up, because the most abundance that we'll ever have in our lives is going to come through unlikely sources, right? Maybe it's not going to work the way that we think it is. Like, we think that we need to be Nine of Pentacles. We think, okay, I need to be practical here, right? Make sure I have all my ducks in a row here, right? But then it's like, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but, you know, I'm just going to say it. It's like, you might have money in the bank, but then what if something happens, right? Again, going back to like crypto, for example, that's why there's things like this on the rise, right? Because of Uranus and Taurus, right? It's I have a Taurus moon, so I'm like, hey, I understand what's happening here. It's like I'm feeling in my literal heart, my emotions. It's like it's shaking up the foundation, the Nine of Pentacles, and it because Uranus, I always want to put on an English accent when I say that. It comes to shake shit up. That's my point. And so what I'm saying here, and then we'll move on, but I feel like this is so important because this is like bigger than this full moon. This is like speaking about almost this whole year and beyond, right? What I'm seeing here, this want for stability, and that's a good thing. But this is what the universe is doing, I believe. It's shaking shit up, bro. Because it's like, okay, you want that? You want Nine of Pentacles, or you want 10 of Pentacles maybe, right? We're going to show you, Uranus, right, that you can you can get what you want, but it might be Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands. It might be through a different source. It might be out of the ordinary, right? It might be these innovative new ideas that spark with the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands, this inspirational stuff, right, that causes people to open up to all these new forms of abundance coming in that will get you to the Nine of Pentacles anyways. And so maybe we think we have to get all our ducks in a row, but maybe our ducks are actually dinosaurs. Or maybe our ducks are actually, you know, Legos. Like maybe you start a Lego building YouTube channel and you're like, this is stupid. It's just a hobby. And then you just keep posting videos of you building these Lego structures. I literally watched a documentary on these Lego guys, right? This is a real thing. People are making Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles off some Legos, bro. And that's what I mean by this Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands, connecting to the Nine of Pentacles, our want, our desire, and the foundation and the root of this spread. And we're going to move on. I just feel like I just have to keep harping on this because this is bigger than this full moon. This is what I feel intuitively, prophetically, if you want to call it that, for like the next, years, right? It's all this kind of stuff. We want stability and we want it now, right? Because the world is so unstable. Why would we go and be Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands? It doesn't make sense. Precisely. It doesn't make sense. It's Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands. It's the theatrical. It's the innovative. It's the inspiration. It's the art. Right? It's like the opposite of what we think we should be doing. And that is the point. I feel like that's what the universe is showing us. And I would go as far as to say to build our faith, to show us that there are other ways of doing things to help us grow as a species, right? That maybe we think we have to put our nose to the grindstone and work, right? But maybe it's not work. Maybe it's build some Legos on YouTube. Get 250,000 subscribers, right? Start a freaking Lego podcast. Get some sponsorships. Become a multi-millionaire. Nine of Pentacles. Doing something that was a hobby. Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Let's move on. Recent past, we have the Hanged Man. Our recent past was like, what the hell do we do? What do we do? Trying to gain enlightenment. Trying to figure out what our next moves are. This could also be Neptune and Pisces, where it's like we're off in the dreamland too much, and that's kind of the push and pull of all this stuff going on with the Nine of Pentacles, which could probably be Uranus and Taurus, with the Hanged Man, which could be Neptune and Pisces. It's like we might have all these really innovative, cool ideas. Maybe we are starting to break out of our shell with the Nine of Pentacles. Maybe we are starting to think differently with the Hanged Man, that Piscean energy where I have like all my planets in the 12th house. So I'm just like, that's just my daily freaking life anyway, is head in the clouds, right? But this energy, the Hanged Man, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's great that we're dreaming, right? We're dreaming of this Lego YouTube channel. But it's this push and pull. And once again, that's part of the universe's plan. It's a little over here pushing this way, a little over here pushing this way, a little over here pushing this way, so that it all hits us at these different angles, therefore putting us on the straight and narrow, like on the path for us. But if it hit us too far one way, too far into the dreamland with the Hanged Man, we wouldn't do anything. We would just be like, oh, how cool would it be to have a famous YouTube Lego channel? But then we never do anything about it. So then we slap back over to, the more grounded energy. And we're like, okay, we got to start making these videos. Oh, they get 2 views. Well, keep going, kid. Mr. Beast. I have been fascinated by him. And there's an interview of him on Joe Rogan's podcast. Interesting, but I've watched quite a few interviews of Mr. Beast. Interesting fella, for sure. Very brilliant. He's a Taurus, I think. Sorry, my camera cut me off. I don't know how much you heard. Speaking of trying new ideas and talking about Mr. Beast, I have my DSLR out here. And I've just been filming on my phone recently because, just full disclosure, my life has been blown up this past year. Okay, if you've seen my podcast at all, I used to be a minister, and now here I am reading cards, talking about astrology. Do you know I was told my entire life that this shit was of the devil? And here I am. Hello, everybody. This is a perfect example of like the sort of like temperance energy that we started off with. It's like it's taking something and molding it into something different. So anyways, back to Mr. Beast. I don't know how much you heard. Make sure we're still recording, everything's set. talking about Mr. Beast, he had these like daily, conversations with this group of guys that they would talk for like 8 hours a day all through, and it was even longer. I listened to multiple interviews of Mr. Beast talking about his process of how he became Mr. Beast, basically. And I mean, the guy was grinding day after day after day after day after day, trying new things, he didn't just blow up overnight. He kept hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. And he had a dream, the Hanged Man, Pisces, right? He had a dream. He also had the drive, Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands. And he also had the practical steps, Nine of Pentacles, to make that continue, that dream continue. So all these elements, mixing them together, perfect, as we're talking about the Temperance card here at the bottom of the deck, mixing that shit together. That's how he became Mr. Beast, and he's not just a YouTube channel. Now he's got these restaurants that he's doing with the Mr. Beast burger and all that. And it's very innovative. I feel like, and I don't want to speak, I don't know a lot about it. I didn't do too much research about it, but I'm pretty sure that it's like they're ghost restaurants or something. Like, I think through other restaurants, he can like put his burgers through the restaurant and people can order them through like Grubhub and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyways, enough on Mr. Beast. What I'm trying to say here is it's like the combination of all these energies, the dreamer, the practical Nine of Pentacles, the drive, Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands. That's what's gonna make us successful. And that's what the universe is doing. It's trying to push us in all these different angles, right? So that we become who we're all destined to become. There's no quote-unquote special people. We all have the potential to be a Mr. Beast. That's my point. Okay, so let's go on to our headspace up here. What's crowning us? King of Pentacles. Yeah, see, exactly. It's like this Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is in our root, and then the King of Pentacles is in our mind. So it's like it's kind of like we want stability, right? We want to feel like we're safe, we're secure, things are all right, money's all right. But I would argue, this is not that this is a bad thing, but I would argue that it's good to mix all these energies together here, as opposed to letting them be separate. Like dreaming here, practical here, drive here, King of Pentacles in the mind. I would almost prefer to see like the star in the mind here. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with us being practical, making sure that we have, like I started at the beginning, all our ducks in a row, etc. But it's good for us to mix all this stuff together so that we can fulfill our dreams. We can have a Lego YouTube channel. Excuse me, guys. We can have a Lego YouTube channel, right? And and that's what gives us Nine of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. It's crazy. We live in a time that we've never experienced before. And, I remember dial-up. When you're dialing up into you've got mail, right? I remember that. And we saw all of this come to be. We saw social media come to be. I've been on YouTube since 2009. I've been doing all sorts of stuff on YouTube for years, right? I've tried all sorts of different things. And me being so earthy, I got a lot of Virgo, I got Taurus, I got, Capricorn in my North Node and all that. And I heard a girl say the other day, you shouldn't speak about your chart on the internet. Maybe that's true. but anyways. My point is I'm trying to use myself as an example to help you that if I can be freaking theatrical, if I can think outside of the box with all this earth going on here, then so can you. All right. Let's look into our soul space here, how we're showing up Ace of Cups, and that popped out at the beginning. Ace of Cups. We're following our hearts, and this is perfect. See, this with this Piscean Hanged Man energy here, beautiful. Absolutely oh, you know what I just realized? Ooh. I missed a card. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to set this down. We're going to give this one more shuffle. See, Temperance. We're going to mix it up. I don't believe any of this sort of stuff is by accident. I believe that all of these sorts of things, they're kind of like visual examples. It's like, oh, we missed a step. Let's go back, which could be Mars retrograde. It's like I've experienced that a lot lately where it's like, I'm like, wait, I thought I was on the right track, but I'm not. So let's go back. So let's get, before we get to the Ace of Cups, let's just cycle back around. This is a perfect example of the energy. Thank you, Spirit. This is actually a perfect example. Let's cycle back around. Let's go back to our heart, Ace of Cups, right? Let's go back to what matters here, which is this Gemini full moon, I believe. That's literally, dancing with the devil here with Mars retrograde. The Tower just came out with the 9 of Swords. Isn't that funny? With the 9 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We've been through a lot. We've had a lot of Tower moments. A lot has happened. So let's get our future position here. What's coming in the near future? What's coming in the near future? The 9 of Cups, another 9. See, our fulfillment, our wish fulfillment, if we will just mix all this stuff together, like I've said many times now, we will have these 2 9s, this 9 of Pentacles and this 9 of Cups here. We will, the Hanged Man in our recent past with the Queen of Wands in our present position is what produces this 9 of Cups wish fulfillment. The combination of the passion, the drive, and the dream with the Hanged Man and the enlightenment on how to do that is what will produce this 9 of Cups. And look, she's holding roses. She looks like she just came out of a show, like with the Queen of Wands. This is a very theatrical 9 of Cups here. It's usually kind of a guy sitting with all his cups, and he's like, I'm happy, right? But this woman's like, thank you. It's very theatrical, which is very Queen of Wands, right? So anyways, let's get back here. Following our hearts, the heart is the compass, friends. If we feel lost, if we feel confused, because this energy, I'll speak for myself, has been more confusing than any other year of my life, 2022. Very challenging, a lot of different things going on, but it's brought us here to the Ace of Cups. What really matters to us? What do we love? What do we care about? Now, let's look at our environment here. The 4 of Swords. I think there's all this energy going on the inside of us. All this passion, all this drive, all these dreams, and yet it seems like crickets out on the outside, I feel, with this 4 of Swords. We're the ones who have to make the ruckus here. We're the ones who need to make this stuff happen. It's not just going to fall out of the sky. I mean, this guy's literally laying down, sleeping under the sky, waiting for things to change. We need to make the change. And I think that that's part of the push of the universe as well. It's like, make the change. It's pushing us. It's kind of almost agitating us in a way. And I listened to a lot of different astrologers talking about this specific transit, with this conjunction of Mars retrograde in Gemini and then this full moon, 16-degree Gemini. It's like, it's this kind of quote-unquote agitation, it's like stirring the waters. The universe is trying to help us to get to our best life. With this Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, new doors opening, new empowering, fulfilling opportunities for all of us. Each and every one of us with our own specific, unique lives, right? It's for everybody. So, Let's look at our hopes and fears. Six of Wands. See, this is a hope and a fear. Our success. Let's just embrace this Six of Wands. Let's take our rightful place. We're all in this together, right? We're all in this together. Like, it's like a musical. Like, we're all in this together. Life's all the world's a stage, right? You know, we're literally all in this together. Like, it's like we're in a musical. It's like we're in a play. So let's work together here, right? Let's raise each other up so that we don't feel alone in our success. If maybe success wouldn't be scary if we knew there were other people there with us, right? That's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. 'Cause I felt kind of alone, you know, after like leaving the Christian church, you know. I kind of lost my community of my whole life, right? But there are new doors opening, just like what I'm doing now. Reading the cards, connecting with astrology, connecting with you guys. This new form of success, the new Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, Six of Wands, this new form of success, these new things that we're doing, all of us, it's going to bring a new form of fulfillment that we've never had before. We don't need to be afraid of that. So let's look at our outcome. Six of Pentacles, working together, right? Everything we just talked about with the six. 2 6s as well. We have 2 9s and 2 6s. And 2 aces. 2 2 2. New doors. Successes working together. Stability, autonomy, and dreams coming to fruition with the 2 9s. Beautiful. This is an amazing reading, and I believe that all these energies mixed together, not just this full moon in Gemini, but everything happening here now. I just think that this full moon in Gemini is shining the light, because it's Gemini, you know, it's shining the light on all of this that's been happening like this whole year and what's going to happen in the future, which is the 9 of Cups. Your dreams coming true. You know? And your dream could be just to feel happy and good and like you're doing something you love, like having a YouTube channel that you build Legos, but it's also successful with these 2 9s, right? And it's also working together. You're collabing with other people with these 2 6s, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. Why the hell not? We live in this time that we can do anything. And I believe that. So much love, my friends. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. Always a joy and a pleasure to read for you all. And until next time, you take care.